So let's get on with the show. Alright, so I'm going to talk about nitrates in your aquarium. I've talked about them before, but the questions keep coming up. This is going to be geared towards the newcomers to the hobby. I've had a lot of them subscribe lately. Basically in your aquarium, and you're going to hear me talk about this on other videos. You guys who are watching the live stream right now, I cannot read your comments because the screen is facing away from me and it's too far away. So chat amongst yourselves, and I'll take the phone off the tripod when I show the tank, and I can answer some questions then. So, when your fish eat, they go to the bathroom, like we all do. That stays in their tank water. We have plumbing and sewage to get rid of it, right? These guys swim in their toilet constantly. You need to get that ammonia out of that water. That's bacteria. You need bacteria. That's why it's called live rock. Bacteria lives on your rock and on your sand. That gets into more detail, but that's basically the gist of it. So then the bacteria breaks it down into nitrites with an I, and then it turns into nitrates with an A. Alright? Those nitrates are bad for your corals. Fish can deal with it. You want to keep the nitrates around 0 to 5 with a nitrate test kit. Weekly water changes of at least 10%, cleaning your filter media, and just doing good maintenance on your tank will lower those nitrates. You don't want to overfeed your fish. That increases the nitrates because they eat more and they go to the bathroom more and it gets through the system more and it causes a problem. Also, feeding too much causes phosphates. Phosphates are bad for your tank. They bind to the coral and the rock and everything. It gets more difficult for the lighting to penetrate the water because there's phosphates in your tank, etc., etc. So feed your fish less, blah, blah, blah. That's just a little bit of background to what we're talking about today. So, to remove those nitrates, you can do what they call carbon dosing. This is a last resort. And it's not bad for your tank. You've heard of reactors. There's a biopellet reactor. I tried that. I've got videos on that. It didn't work for my tank. Keep in mind all tanks are different. What works for your friend's tank might not work for yours. What works for mine doesn't work for the guy down the block. Bulk REEF supply might not work for me, vice versa. So the biopellet reactor is little BBs, little pellets that tumble around in your reactor. And the thought behind that is the pellets will feed the beneficial bacteria in your tank. There's different kinds of bacteria. That bacteria is responsible for getting rid of the nitrates, right? You gotta have a protein skimmer when you do this, because as the bacteria grows, because you're feeding it, they're going to remove the nitrates, then they need to be skimmed out of the water with a protein skimmer. Also, carbon dosing lowers the oxygen level in your water. It's not good for your fish. If you dose too much or put too many biopellets in, you can get what they call an algae bloom. You'll get, it looks like, well, I guess an algae bloom too. It clouds your water, but it's fine. It'll go away in a few hours. Bacterial bloom. I used to dose sugar. That's another carbon source. Vodka and white vinegar are another source. I figured out for my tank, and pretty much everyone else's, 1 teaspoon of sugar in your sump for every 60 gallons. So I was doing 2 teaspoons a day in my sump. Now, I've moved on to something else. A refugium. A refugium is, it's a planted tank. It's a plant. It's an algae. And the thought behind this is the algae is going to grow and it feeds on sunlight and nitrates. So it's also going to lower your phosphates in your tank. Now, you need a lot of this stuff. A little box of this microalgae or chaeto isn't going to do much. It's going to grow. And as it grows, you can take some out and just put it in your display tank, and your fish will eat it if you have tangs. So another thing you can do is use miracle mud. Instead of using sand in your sump, like a lot of people do, you can use miracle mud, which is expensive. But it houses trace elements. People have not done any water changes. They don't have to dose anything. But you need about 1 ounce for every gallon of water, I think. So anyway, I figured I went to the Ecosystems website, and I need 30 pounds of miracle mud for my tank. All right. So I can't do the math right now. I'm still not feeling too well. But 30 pounds for a 125 gallon aquarium, or 110 to 150, they said, 30 pounds. I only have 10 pounds in there right now. I did a video on that last week, so you can see what I did, how I placed it in the sump. Now, a refugium is good for not just feeding your fish as it grows, but it removes your nitrates. A lot of people even went so far as to remove the protein skimmer from their aquarium. That's going to save on energy. You're not carbon dosing anymore, so you can probably remove the protein skimmer. That's something that I'm going to do, and I'm going to test out for you guys. All right? So right now I've got just a little ball of refugium. I want to have it grow and fill the whole second sump. I'm going to put 25 pounds of the miracle mud in there. I can't afford any. I can't afford 5 pounds. Stuff's expensive. It's like, was it $48 for 5 pounds? $48 for 5 pounds. And I just spent, oh my God, I can't even, $180, kids. $180 on 20 pounds of miracle mud that's coming today. What an idiot. No one pays me. I don't have sponsors. I totally don't have money. You guys know I'm broke. Broke as hell. And my furnace went out. So yeah, we're dead. Okay. That said, when that miracle mud arrives today, I'll do another live stream as I do it. Alright? So, another thing that miracle mud is going to be used for, like I said, it's going to have all the new stuff that you need. A lot of people don't do water changes because it has the calcium. It keeps your alkalinity in check. It keeps your magnesium in check. It keeps everything in check. It's miracle mud. This mud is actually taken from the depths of the ocean. The Fiji mud, Bulk Reef Supply sells Fiji. I'm using Ecosystems. Now, that's going to give my aquarium a massive boost. I don't dose anything besides sugar, which I haven't done in a couple weeks. I'm going to test the nitrates. I'm curious. It's been 3 weeks, actually, since I've dosed any sugar. I do water changes, and that's it. You're going to see my sump in a minute. Those of you who have not seen it are going to see there's nothing down there. I literally have one hose coming off each return or each overflow into 2 sumps. One's a Rubbermaid container, and if I had to do it all over again, I would just have a second Rubbermaid container. In fact, I might just get rid of this eShops sump to get a second larger container to show you guys you don't need to spend $500 or $600 on these name brand sumps. I mean, believe me, I like looking online and I like checking out the catalogs. What is this, 1980s? If you get a catalog, great. They're still fun to look through. But it's great fun. It's like, wow, I want that and I want that. And it's like, I'll find a way to get $475. And I was there, believe me. They're really nice, beautifully designed. At the end of the day, though, they're going to get all garbaged up with algae and scum and salt creep and all that, right? So, they're beautiful, though. But As a last minute decision, I got a Rubbermaid container because I was trying to fit an aquarium underneath there, a 20-gallon, and it cracked. So I needed something fast. So I threw a Rubbermaid container in there from the basement. I love this thing. I joined the two of them with a PVC pipe. Now I can have like a 40 or 50-gallon sump underneath there, which I think I'm going to be doing, filled with nothing but chaeto, or Refugium. So I don't dose anything. Now another thing the Refugium, I got off track, sorry. Another thing the Refugium is really great for is housing those little tiny white bugs that crawl all over your sand and all over your rock. And reef keepers that are new to the hobby, they see this and they kind of freak out. Oh my God, what are all these little bugs crawling all over my tank and my glass and my everywhere? Those are amphipods and copepods. And I know I said this in last week's video, but I'm going to just blend everything together. Plus this live stream is a great way for you guys to congregate with each other and hang out. You reefer people. I almost said guys. If I say guys, you know I also mean girls. Come on, give me a break. Let's see. Okay, so your Refugium, the water's going to come into your sump. No foam pads. I don't like sump socks. I will never use them again because people are like, oh, sump socks, they capture all the waste from the fish. Yeah, that's really great. But some people are lazy and they don't change them. Those things need to be changed with a new one every 3 days. Because you know what happens? Those socks are sitting in your water. And the fish waste. The first time you see a sump sock, it's like, oh my God, is that really circulating through my aquarium? My aquarium looks crystal clear. Well, this is stuff you can't see, and it collects in the white sock, and it's tar black, and it smells. Plus, it's better to have that stuff actually cycle through your system because the amphipods and the copepods that are living in the rock crevices that are eating the food that the fish can't get to, they also eat that detritus. And that uneaten food that's microscopic will flow through your system and it gets to the coral. When I stopped using sump socks, my corals looked a little healthier and fuller because that extra food was flowing through the tank getting to them. So now you have your overflow pipe going into the sump with all this chaeto, all this green matter, this algae. Not only is it growing, it's trapping all the detritus because it looks like an SOS sponge, but it's incredibly soft because it's an algae. And I'm going to show that to you in about a minute here. So the water comes in, all that stuff, it's got to flow through like a 2.5 foot long passage. It's all going to get trapped in that refugium once it gets built up huge, right? The only thing that's going to get through is water, and the water is going to get pumped out. Not only is that water going to pass through the refugium and trap all the solids, but all those amphipods and copepods, they're going to live in your tank and in that refugium. They're going to have a safe breeding place away from your fish. Your fish will eat them. They will make their way back to the tank through your return pump. Sure, I'm sure some of them will be killed, but most of them, they get back. Now, if you've got a mandarin like I do, he's right there between the rock looking at me. He's picking for the copepods right now. The mandarin goby. I love that guy. That's all they eat. So that's another reason I wanted a refugium. I wanted a ton of these guys because I want them to feed my fish, the mandarin, of course, included. I want them to become hugely populated, to feed off the rocks and clean everything off, a mini army cleanup crew, if you will. Those guys get everywhere. They're so tiny, they look like microscopic little see-through bugs, okay? I love them. The copepods, you can also buy them. I get mine from Algae Barn. I highly recommend them. You get a bag of 5,280 copepods. They're microscopic. You just dump them in at night and turn off your protein skimmer if you have one. For, I don't know, $40, $35, something like that. And I think when I get more money, I'm going to go on the rotation and have a bag of those guys sent to me once every 3 months. So anyway, a refugium, that's my big thing now. No protein skimmer, that's going to go away. That'll also save on electricity, probably just a little bit. Less maintenance, because you don't have to clean a protein skimmer. It will house and grow and boost your copepod population filtration, which will in turn feed your fish and clean your tank. Refugium also lowers your nitrates and your phosphates a bit. And it's a natural way of cleaning. And as the Refugium grows, you can take it off and throw it in your tank. And guess what? What's going to come with that? Copepods. So that's a way to put copepods and amphipods in your tank. Plus, my tangs are pigs. They will eat that stuff like crazy. Okay, so now that I've talked, that's my plan. I'm going to do another live video today when that mud gets here. I don't know which side I'm going to put it in. I thought about having the Refugium all in the one Rubbermaid container and having both drain lines go into it. So all the water filters through that. As it matures, I'm going to do that. But the only problem is I can't do it today because I don't have tubing long enough to take the one return power head and put it back to where I initially had it in this sump. So I want to have both drain lines into the Refugium sump coming through, and then both return pumps going back into the tank on the one side. So it gives all the water a chance to go through the entire Refugium in Miracle Mud, and then return just with the two pumps on this one sump. So the second sump will probably just have maybe more Miracle Mud on the bottom and return pumps at the end. That's what I'm thinking. And I may throw the router tube in there too. I was tearing this place apart before I got the flu earlier last week, and I cleaned some stuff up in preparation for this mud to get here. So let me turn this. Oh, there's the mandarin. Every time I turn the camera on him, he hides. Let's see if I can get him. There he is. And he runs away. Alright, let me show you. Let me turn off my return pump on the one end to show you what I'm talking about. I'm just using this cheap light that you saw in a previous video with a 5000K. There's the Miracle Mud. It's an inch deep. It's sitting in a plastic container that I drilled holes in a video 1 or 2 weeks ago. When I got this chaeto for the Refugium, I had 2 baseball sizes. That's 5 pounds of Miracle Mud. It's an inch deep. They recommend an inch. And I've got 20 more pounds coming today. 20 more pounds. So now you guys, I think I'm not ready to do this because I don't have tubing long enough. I need to take this return pump out and put it in this one. There's a return pump here. I need to put that second return. So both return pumps are in here going back. This protein skimmer will eventually go out. And then I want both returns to just fall through here, so I need to get longer tubing. I need to turn the second pump on because the water level's getting higher. But I wanted to show you, I had 2 baseball size chaeto sent, and they've already opened a bit and grown. Light. Anyway, it's hard to see, but it's gonna get larger. My plan is to fill this whole Rubbermaid, man-made, which it is, this whole Rubbermaid sump DIY with the chaeto and Miracle Mud. But I was thinking about putting the 20 pounds or 10 pounds of Miracle Mud in the bottom of that today and putting the other 10 pounds in here. I just don't know. I just don't know. What I think I'll probably do is maybe put the 10 pounds in the bottom of this container. I'm not going to use the plastic tray, or maybe I will. Get a second plastic tray just until I can relocate that because I don't want the mud getting sucked up. So that's the plan. I wanted to show you guys this. I want to let you know I'll do a second video when I... Look, I got some bubbles coming in there now. Let me turn off this pump a bit. So let that second sump fill up for a second so we don't have to hear that bubbling noise. So that's all I have in this eShop's sump right now is this protein skimmer. Look at all the gunk that it's collecting. That's in your tank water. I'm kind of nervous to take the protein skimmer out, but once I have all that chaeto and 25 or 30 pounds of miracle mud, that should be all I really need. I've seen a lot of videos where some people are using a Refugium only with protein skimming 6 hours a day, and it works great. Others are using no protein skimmer. You don't need a protein skimmer, but it's recommended. But if you've got a large Refugium, you kind of don't need it. So I think what I'm gonna do is make this a Refugium. Maybe I'll just get an acrylic box to put that return power head in. Make this a big Refugium. I'll start with this. I'll probably maybe put all the mud in here today and put that in a box so the mud doesn't get in there. And then eventually I'll just get more mud and make a Refugium out of this as well and take this protein skimmer out. That way I'll have an insane amount of pods and an insane amount of filtering. Oh, one other thing. I've read where you don't want to clean your Refugium, which sounds really nasty, and it is. It's going to trap all that garbage and not all of it gets eaten. People put crabs in there, snails to kind of help clean it up, and you want to replace 50% of that miracle mud every year. So the initial purchase is crazy, but you replace 50% of it. Now that doesn't mean if you have 2 trays in there, you replace 1 tray and you leave the second one. No, you replace 50% of this tray and 50% of that tray. You mix it together, and that's what you do. Hey guys. All right, so I'm gonna feed these guys, and then I'll chat with you guys briefly, and I'll end it. I gotta lay down because I'm still not feeling good. I had the flu from hell. Hey Dave, what's up, dude? Man, no coffee for me, man. I haven't had coffee in like 5-6 days. This flu killed me. I have not eaten anything either in like 4 days, and I'm not even hungry. Yeah, man, that's how bad this flu has been. I asked to be killed. I wanted to die, but God didn't take me. That's how bad this flu was. All right, so let me feed these guys. Yeah, it's been a terrible few weeks. Water heater blew out. I had to get that replaced. No money for that. The heater went out. Finally, after failing, I was trying to see how long I could not pay for repair. But that went out, so now I gotta take guys coming out today to fix it. So that answers your guys' questions, which is why I bring it up. When are you getting a larger fish tank? Not for a long time, unfortunately. I don't have much money, which is why I do everything pretty much myself DIY, and I share it with you guys. Now, see, I got the nori in my hand. They're waiting for it. I love watching these guys eat. I always hand feed them. I got disconnected for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know where I got disconnected, but I'm going to feed these guys Rod's food now. Hey, Leia. All the clowns are going nuts. Rod's food, frozen Rod's food. So are the tangs, of course. So will the shrimp, and the coral will love it too. I feed these guys once every other day now. And they're still fat and happy. I only feed Rod's food and the nori. I hate these light strips on the tank. So yeah, later today I'm gonna fill, I think, this with the 20 pounds of Miracle Mud. I was gonna put 10, you know what, I'm gonna start out with 10 in that. If it gets to be higher than an inch, I'm gonna put the other 10 in the second sump. I'm just gonna remove the protein skimmer. By the way, best results when you have a refugium, you wanna have no protein skimmer or limit it to maybe 5 hours skimming a day. Because you don't want that protein skimmer, and I didn't really think about this, sucking up all those copepods and amphipods that you're trying to grow and breed in your refugium. You guys see I removed the center rock. It's now right here. So I've got all my star polyps. You can't really see it with this light strip. I got a star polyp colony. So this bridge rock used to be here. Now it's gone. Now they can swim through here better water flow. Big deal. There was still a big gap there, but there was a bridge. Now I removed it so the star polyps can't get over here. And I've got a star polyp colony that's just over here. It looks nice. There's a better view of it. So let me know what you guys think, where I should put the 20 pounds of Miracle Mud that arrives today. I think it's arriving today. Spent way too much on this stuff. So the furnace breaks down 2 days later. It's beautiful. So I think I'm just gonna put it all in the Rubbermaid bin for now. The reason why I'm kind of waiting on that is because I just don't want that return power head sucking up the mud. I think it'll be fine. You know what I'll do? I know what I'll do. The acrylic box that is holding that Miracle Mud right now that you just saw, I'll put the power head in there. The return pump in there. So the Miracle Mud can't get into that box. And that's what I'll do. Easy fix. That's perfect. So I have 25 pounds of Miracle Mud in that Rubbermaid container. Eventually I'll get more Miracle Mud and I'll put it in the eShop's Sump, removing that protein skimmer. So I have like 40 pounds of Miracle Mud. And a Refugium, and that's all I'm gonna have. Let's try it that way. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll do a live stream. Thanks, Dave. Dave says miracle mud stays put when it's wet. And it does. I just don't want to risk sucking any of that up. Thanks, man. I'm going to go lay down, have some tea. And if this miracle mud arrives today, I'll do a live stream. Don't forget to subscribe to the Facebook group if you haven't already, because I like to post what's going to happen with the channel there. Take it easy. Yes, an algae scrubber. Everybody keeps bringing up an algae scrubber to me. I don't think I'm going to try that, to be honest. Not for quite the while, because I want to focus on the Refugium. I know they do a really great job, but I just want to try and get away from protein skimmers and... Oh, I know it works. Jim says it works. It does work. I just don't want to deal with that right now. I want to... The way my sump is set up, I just want to deal with the more simplistic, throw some Refugium together and just kind of forget it. I know an algae scrubber is the same way. I just kind of don't feel like building anything right now. I think that's the flu talking. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope your tanks are doing well. I'll live stream later if I get that mud. And I'll give you like an hour's notice or whatever. Anyway, enjoy your weekend. Take care.